My brother and cousin hunting pheasants, and there they're showing off. This is their farm. Here I won a pig in agriculture contest, and I had to return it when it had a litter. Here's where I worked where there were twins born at this home. And I took care of them. She got a heart attack after they were born. 1940. That's the mother. That's a dummy we made for my brother. That's our fishing days in the evening in my home, my girlfriend Ruth. If we'd finish our chores, and Dad was strict on that, then we could go fishing. So we fished real often down near our home in the evening. That's Violet. This is slicing potatoes with our company that was there. My mom, my brother, and my girlfriend. Getting them ready to plant. There's my dad taking the officers out for a ride in World War I. And he had the job to take them out riding. That's my dad. Maybe this is of interest. My dad put on his suit to see if it would fit when my brother came home from World War II. And that's a uniform change, and it still fit him. This is my dad and my brother. They just did that for kicks. That's our first experience of moving to California. And our first home we bought. Shirley, Gerald, Sally is the baby. My parents were John and Cora Blazek, B-L-A-Z-E-K, very bohemian. Our dad returned from World War I in 1919, during the Great Depression in those years began. We were born in Onalaska, Wisconsin. I was in year 1920 on Alaska, just the way it sounds. Got it? I'll keep on. Near a lovely Mississippi River. Enjoyed picnicking there near the streams, where we children would get the cows for milking time every day. It was necessary to cross railroad tracks, the Burlington route, every day with care near our home with the cattle. I had two brothers, Bill and Harold, one sister, Violet. Our dad was a carpenter, a very careful builder of barns, houses, and schoolhouses. We children went to the schoolhouse on Lower Bryce Prairie, a small one-room schoolhouse about 1 mile from our home. It was a nice walking distance, not so great in very cold and snowy days. Many good days of fishing was an advantage after our farm chores were finished in the early evening. I found my one-year diary, and I wrote in here something you'd like to hear. In 1934, I I had to stay after school this day, cold winter day, and write a sentence because I was whispering. And I had to write this: I must not whisper unless I ask permission. And I wrote after school that night. And my arm was pretty tired, I put it. So, if you wanted to whisper to your mate in back of you in a desk and ask the school class lesson or something, you had to raise your hand and then whisper to them. You could not talk out loud ever. That's annoying. Can you imagine that? Oh, that was so funny. When I found this and I read it through, oh, I tell you, it's hilarious. I got a lot of things in there. And another thing I got in trouble for, that was all I ever got in trouble for, it was not whispering, I'd get the giggles. And I could not stop. So then she knows I was so poor and I never liked math. They don't call it math, arithmetic. I hated it. So one day she came to my desk and said, now if this is so funny today to you, I'm going to give you this list of math, arithmetic to do, that's what they call it, and maybe you'll get over the giggles. And oh, I hated that. And I couldn't get it done because it was such hard work because I didn't like it. So I took it home. I said, may I take it home? Yes, but you're going to do it at home, she said. And so we had to get home to do chores. My sister, she waited down the road for me, Violet. So when I got home, I said, Violet, you do this and she'll never know the difference. But the next day she knew the difference. That's not your work, she says. They're pretty strict in that day. Well, wait a minute. There weren't any cars. I didn't own a car. And I'll tell you about that. So I was afraid to even back it out of the garage. None of us owned a car. There wasn't any money. Because Dad built his own little truck onto an old Model A Ford back. And that's what he used for carpenter work. So then I worked out, and these people said, where the twins were born, we'd like you to learn to drive. And I said, oh no, I'm scared to death. I don't want to have nothing to do with driving. This was in the country. Hardly ever saw a car. No, I went no part of it. Well, he says, we'd like you to go drive down to the store. It's only 2 miles, no, a mile. I think it was a mile to the store. And since my wife is in the hospital with this heart attack, I'd like you to get the groceries, you see. So then I thought, well, I got to have a driver's license. So they came out and tested me. And it cost me, no, he says, I won't even give you a driver's license. Mr. Hendrickson is a mayor of the town, and he'd never let you drive his car if he didn't trust you. You don't need a license. 25 cents, please, and he gave me some kind of a ticket. I think I got it yet, and that's what I drove with ever since. I never had anything more. No lawsuits if I hit anybody, but I'd get stuck in the mud once in a while because the roads were bad, and then I was scared to death. Ugh. And they'd bring a horse down and pull it out. That was fun days, see. During the Depression, my dad couldn't borrow any money, and he got home from the Army and needed to start, maybe get just a few acres to put his family there, and milk a couple cows or something and get some chickens. And the banks closed that year, and I remember the day. My dad cried he couldn't get any money. And what was he going to do to start up? Just getting out of the Army, World War I. So then my uncle helped him a little bit and gave him a white cow for a wedding present. Great big white cow, beautiful cow. And they milked that for the milk. And someone gave them a few chickens so they'd have eggs. And there they started from there, trying to make it go. And they planted their corn, potatoes, and we had to help. And started out. And I shall add this, it wasn't many years, maybe 2, 3 years they were there, and they got a terrible storm. A cyclone took every building on the place. Now, no money. How are they going to start again? But the house was saved, and Dad didn't own a car. He rode his motorcycle to work and built houses. So then when he came home and saw all the buildings demolished, he was up on the highway, but he could see down where we lived. He thought we were all maybe passed away and so he couldn't see that the house was still standing. And my mother rushed us all in the basement. We were little, and she says, hang on to my skirt, hang on to my skirt. All of you quick, there's a great storm, and they couldn't even shut the window. There was such a blast of wind. I'll never forget the sound even. And we all hurried in the basement, and we were saved. Our lives were saved. But every building was gone, so Dad had to start building all new buildings and paint them. Start all over. Hardly a bit of money. And all the neighbors came over that didn't have that same, a cyclone would just take so many, just like a tornado. And they came over and helped, cleaned up. I remember us kids, what we thought when our swing went down, it was an old rubber tire swing in the tree, and the chickens were bare. It blew their feathers right off. They're running around bare. I remember it. They looked awful. But see, it would just do certain funny things as it went through a cyclone. Today they call them tornadoes. Now, maybe they did then, but my folks call it cyclone. But everyone came over and brought food and helped clean up the mess and help start building. Those that had their farm saved, ours was taken because it went through just a sweeping village. Sweep. So I remember as kids, and my dad cried again. He didn't want us to see him cry, but everything was gone. When he moved there, I thought, well, he'd start farming and have a little food for the family. No, it didn't work. You wouldn't want my advice, I don't think. My advice would be to live a simpler life, and it's more quiet. You have time to think more, and stay away from the herds, let me put it that way, of cattle, that's what I think. Herds of people, and not follow everything they do. Oh, so well, my neighbor is this, and he owns that. I want it too. Well, I want a better car because my neighbor has this, and she's got a new dress, I'd like that. And he's got something better than I, and I'd like that. Stay a more simple life. That's the best that I can give. Because we did it, and I still like a simple life. I mean, I don't need a lot of commotion and everything like some people think you have to have. Oh, I don't like her short pants on. No, the worst ones I could think of her on.
Why?
Show your legs.
My birthday is April 13th, 1918. Dorchester, we were born on a farm, right? We had moved to the farm in 1918. I was born in Dorchester, Wisconsin. When I was a boy, I worked for my dad, father from young on. Yeah, helped milk always. When I got old enough to milk, well, we were youngsters. As soon as we could start to milk, about 13 years old or so, we milked cows. We couldn't milk. We'd milk what we couldn't, then they'd strip the cows out. Yes, I got kicked. Our cow. Oh, we had ducks, we had geese, had turkeys. I mean, the folks used to raise a number of turkeys. Wisconsin used to have a lot of snow. We always played games. Hide and go seek, blindsman buck, different games like that. And with a hide and go seek, you'd go run from one goal to another. You know, you didn't want to get caught. 'Cause if you did, boy, you'd be out. I drove a lot of the buggy. That was our transportation for the first years, horse and buggy. Drive 7 miles to Stensonville to go to school there. My wife's name was Beatrice Blazek. Her mother was Cora Blazek. She was born to a Blazek family. Yeah, I met Beatrice at a softball game.
You know the first question he asked me, and I'll tell you now. I won't marry anyone that can't cook. He wasn't interested in pretty nails and all that. If you can't cook, he wouldn't take me on that. So I thought I better hurry up. But I knew how to cook, see. Knew all about it. He wanted to be sure he could eat.
He still eats, huh?
I know. And 3 hot meals a day, my dear.
Oh, yeah?
No lunches. He didn't believe in that. It had to be hot. Well, I could do it because I had a garden. I'd just cook it. Had our own meat, butchered, cooked it. Did all that. Learned in a hurry, didn't I, Elmer?
I wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
What did you say?
He wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah, at the time she was born, I thought she was beautiful. Yeah, my first car was Model T. The Model A came out after that. We got a Model T truck. Cut it down, made a trunk out of it, and
How many cow you have?
well, I had 300 and something one time.
Wow,
They had to be milked every day,
You have to milk
twice
every
a
day?
day.
Twice
Yeah.
a day, that's a lot of milk.
Well, yeah, they gave a lot of milk.
That's good. Make you busy, huh?
And everything was done the easy way.
That's a pretty shirt you got on. I like that.
Yeah.
Real pretty. Sally called to say hello to you when I came.
Just say hello.
I will say hello to her for you.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Old enough to have more sense.
Yeah.
Old enough to more trust? That's what he said?
To have more sense.
More sense.
More sense.
That's
Okay.
pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. What should I say to her? How pretty she looks? Bridget said, who said that? Well, somebody said it. Sometimes they'll have to say to better, you're off. Ever heard that?
Was Grandma sweet to you?
Huh?
Was Grandma sweet to you?
You want to take her away from me yet? Well, you better not. You go right out that window.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go eat.
We're going to eat now. Is that enough? Yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas.